Nothing changed.
Really? That's it?
Yeah.
We was here in August?
Yeah. We did, I think, 2 in August.
Oh, okay.
Here we go.
I feel long.
Yeah. We still moving, y'all. Break it down. I don't know who I'm talking to, but the Lord has given me a word for you. Whatever you're going through, yeah, God gave me this word for you. Everything will be alright. When you're going through, just remember this word. Everything will be alright. Now listen, everybody clap your hands.
Mike's hot.
This evening.
Boom! There you are.
Testing 1, 2. The dudes in the hats
Listen, I want y'all to help me
that you see on the screen. One is named Darian, and the other one is named Jay. And they are banjo players.
The baddest banjo in the land.
Darian, you got it.
All right. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Welcome,
Like
y'all.
we never left.
Yeah.
Been a little while.
We
but
here again.
We are here again. Between Sundays, episode 54. Again, we're a platform where we offer perspectives of the modern church, ministry, operation, and many nuances therein from the lens of worship arts and multimedia personnel. So, I want to take maybe just a few minutes to just to kind of reflect on some of the topics that we've been able to dive into and unravel since our inception.
Yeah.
I don't know how many might remember the first series, which was why does there seem to be a shortage of church musicians or musicians to play in church. Then the second series was red flags.
Yep. Yep. I remember that.
Then after that, I believe that was when we went into our series on titles. Which,
Yeah, that was a deep one.
that was a deep one.
Ooh.
That was a deep one.
Yeah, we can ruffle some feathers with that one.
So now, we got a couple different series on deck, as well as some other stuff to look forward to in 26, potentially even a live in studio audience, or maybe not say in studio, but live in person audience.
Yeah.
So please be sure to stay tuned. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube page, please do us a favor. Subscribe to the YouTube page.
Please.
Go on YouTube, put in your search Between Sundays, no space, then put a hyphen and YY7NI will come up. Please subscribe to the YouTube page if you don't mind. Jay, good to see you, man.
Hey, man. Good to be here, man. How you feel?
I'm good, man.
How was
I'm
your
good,
summer?
man. Summer was pretty good, man.
Yeah.
We tried to get Deacon Baxter here tonight, but he wasn't available.
He had to play.
Pell, it's good to see you, man.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right,
Back
so
in.
now that we didn't got the pleasantries out the way, let's jump into it. If you,
I'm already laughing.
if you're coming in, please share. Share it to your page, share it to a Facebook group, discussion group, musicians group, pastors group, or text it to somebody, send it to your pastor. All right.
Also, if I may add, just hashtag Between Sundays as well when you share it.
Yep.
All right. Let's get these hashtags out.
All right. So here's where we're going today. All right. Today I saw a very respected colleague of mine. They made a post recently on social media, And I think they brought up a very, very interesting topic that definitely needs more of a conversation and more exposure. And I'm pretty sure I have a bit of a different twist to take with this one when I respond to it. But let's jump in. All right. And so here's what the post said. And it was kind of like an interrogative statement or asking a question. So it says, have our churches become so production centered that we have alienated our youth from aspiring to be musicians? Back in the day, we couldn't wait till church was over in between services to play on the instruments. But now, crickets. Oh, and wait, we don't even have a lot of afternoon services anymore unless that's our main service. Ooh.
It's a lot in there to break down.
Ooh. I'm gonna read the question portion again. Jay, I'm gonna unleash you first. Pels, please don't be far away. But the question portion: have our churches become so production centered that we have alienated our youth from aspiring to be musicians?
Well, if I have to start here, man, to be honest, it's been a long time since we used to have what they call testimony service. And back in the day, all of us, all three of us, and more musicians that's out there, we used, or our churches used, that testimony service for us to get experience. Most of us that grew up in that situation, that type of church, there you played after service too, but you also played during service, rather if you were with somebody, a mentor of some sort, but you learned how to experience and notice the presence of the Lord. Nowadays, have these churches become production centered? A lot of them, yes. I would also go as far as to say that a lot of them, when church is over, you're not allowed to touch the instruments, especially children. Now, of course, instruments, they do cost. However, if there are no screw ups, there'll be no progress. And I think more than anything, we've now taken out the part of church where people cannot, or musicians, aspiring musicians, cannot have that moment to mess up. Right now, it's more centered on having to be at a certain level. You don't see the young cats 7, 8 years old sitting on organs like that anymore. And the bigger the church, a lot of times the more we've strayed away from that. And we've gone to the production where everything is timed, everything is more structured. I like to say structured because you don't want to say chaotic. Everything is more structured where there is a time limit on everything. So yeah, I would say to start off, production centered churches have become the main focus.
All right. Let me start here. For me, I don't think that production elements that are now a part of many of our churches is the main culprit here.
Mm-hmm.
This is my opinion. I don't believe that to be the main culprit. Why? Because I believe the main culprit we saw before the production elements started to become a part of church.
Mm-hmm.
And I purposely want to start here with trying to answer the question first before I really peel back some more layers.
Mm-hmm.
But have our churches become so production centered that we've alienated our youth from aspiring to be musicians? Have our churches become production centered? For the most part, the answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't believe that that's the culprit of what someone could say have alienated our youth from aspiring to be musicians.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, well, Brother Therein, well, what was the culprit? I would submit to you that the culprit is expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Example. I think a lot of us from either the mid to late 80s or early to mid 90s, I think a lot of us will tell you that our church environment musically, there was a lot of other individuals around our age
Mm-hmm.
who also, got curious about music. Some, may have had skill, some didn't have skill, or then some may have developed skills a little bit faster than others. So in many of those environments, now was kind of a turn-taking thing in terms of who could play. Because if you had one young musician or young aspiring
Mm-hmm.
that, maybe they caught on a little quicker and they played your instrument, well then, they kind of got more time on the instrument in service than
Right.
you did. And what did that lead to? That led to many of us being curious about other instruments,
Mm-hmm.
drums, possibly even guitar, or our main curiosity was drums.
Mm-hmm.
But, there were others who were better at drums at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So then, we wandered to the piano. If there was an organ and the main musician played the organ,
Right.
and we tried to pick that up just to become a part
Mm-hmm.
of the musical fabric. And in those instances that I just mentioned, we were not shied away or kept from trying to play those instruments during the service.
Mm-hmm.
Again, what is my example? If you were more curious about drums,
Mm-hmm.
but there was already a drummer who had more skill.
Right.
Okay, if you went to the piano because that was vacant,
Mm-hmm.
and you tried to play during the service, you were not told,
Right. Right.
you gotta get off. You were not told that in that time.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? Because the expectation was different.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
The expectation was different. The expectation wasn't you had to execute to a certain level to be on the instrument during service.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't the expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know I've been asked many a times did I ever play drums, and I always answer no. But I had a similar story where when I got curious about playing keys,
Mm-hmm.
I had another gentleman a little older than me. We were both kids, but he was a little older than me. He was curious as well. So we would have to share time.
Mm-hmm.
And so every now and then, here's what would happen. Every now and then, if I was on piano, he would jump on drums.
Mm-hmm.
And then if he was on piano, I would jump on drums.
Mm-hmm.
And again, in those instances, no one was telling us. Neither one of us was drummers.
Right.
So we both had trouble keeping the beat.
Mm-hmm.
We both had trouble keeping the beat. But no one told us, don't worry about it, baby. Don't just don't play. We don't need no.
Right.
Why weren't we told that? Because there wasn't an expectation of executing. And I personally believe, and Pels, I'm coming your way. I personally believe the expectation of executing, of being able to play songs properly, being able to keep the tempo and the feel properly. Mm-hmm. I believe that showed up before the production stuff did.
Wow.
My opinion. Pels.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's I don't even know where to start at, man. Like just understanding that question, have our churches become, I think all three of us agree on this, has it become so production centered that we've alienated? So I see that there's so many problems in that, but we're guiding it towards musicians. I don't know, because the people that I've seen come out of churches, it was normally the small church. It wasn't the big churches.
Yeah.
Because the big churches seemed like it was hard to get a spot.
Absolutely.
And that big church, they valued that organ.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You couldn't touch it. The smaller church, Deacon Baxter's grandson, well, he can touch that because Deacon Baxter put $1,000 towards that organ.
Right.
So he gonna at least touch it. As long as he ain't breaking it,
Yep.
you ain't gonna move him off. Sister so-and-so bought the drum set.
Mm-hmm.
So you ain't gonna tell her grandkid to get off the drum set. So he gonna bang on it until we get sick and tired of him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how he learned to be a great drummer. There's this big church, small church thing, and production oriented. You can't expect, if you go to a church with 1,000 people in there, you can't expect your kid to be the one that can go up after Austin gets off the organ and start toying around with it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then there's like 30 other kids standing there like, let my kid try it too. Because at that point, so now it's kind of like, go home and do it.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, if they go home and do it, then they don't even need to do it in church, because their skill set that they learned at home, whether it be the industry of YouTube, the University of YouTube, or whether they're learning in school, they're learning how to play by ear. So they got one up on all the ear kids anyway.
Yeah.
And they realize, hey, I'm getting paid to play for the band over here or there. So I just come to church. I'm not even expecting to play.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like it's different now. And in the small church, it was like, you need to do something. We can point out who's not doing something.
Yeah.
So you can say, try it. Every black kid, for the most part, and I'm saying this in general, should at least be able to hold a beat.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of backing up what Darian was saying, neither one of us was expert. I played the drums for a couple of services, and Keith Pelzer, you don't want me on the drums. John Roberts showed me how to do some shout beat. I did it, and you could tell me nothing. But then when everything evolved into the I can't do none of that. My rudiments stink.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? When
Yes,
I'll Make It came out, I stayed off the drums. I can bleed, that's all right.
Mm-hmm.
So now I don't really think the production-centered church is that much to blame, as much as it is things have changed. And even if our churches look like they did back in the day, like Jay brought up testimony service and stuff, the problem now is those churches are too stubborn to realize that their destination or their destiny may not be like the big church around the corner. But in their heads, they're always going towards that. So they don't even give time for, and I'll just say this at churches I played at, the pastor's kids ain't touching not one instrument. They got an iPad in their hand through the whole service.
Mm-hmm.
And you looking like, yo, wake them up and tell them to play the drums.
Mm-hmm.
He don't have to be a drummer. Just tell him you live in my house, play them Jones and figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right? Ain't nobody doing that now. So we don't even put our kids on it, and the kids don't even have a desire to it.
Yeah.
So his statement, I get it. And what's the rest of it? It's alienated our youth from aspiring to be musicians, and then back in the day, we couldn't wait till church was over in between services to play on the instruments. This is a bigger problem, like Darian was saying. That has a lot to do with the pastor and the culture of the church, as well as the responsibility of the people in the pews. Our pew, the expectation in the pew is not to sit around after the amen.
Mm-hmm.
They not.
That's right.
My cousin Kenyon and them had a throwback service. You know, shout out to Tamika Furby. They have Flip It and all of this and that stuff. Citywide Revival with the Baptist Association, all of that stuff. Those are niche areas.
Mm-hmm.
The revival, I'm going to give James Scott a shout out, bringing back old school church, but you'll put him on the program for certain concerts, but for the most part, if you look at, and I'm just saying, just look at the social media, where do you see him singing at? At a church with a bunch of mothers and people that like that.
Yep.
That's a concert. That's a special afternoon service. It is not common. What he's doing is what we used to commonly do at majority of churches.
Right.
That is not a majority now.
Right.
So you're not going to get that freestyle, learn from the root up type thing. It's different now. It's not the same. So he says, but now crickets, and oh wait, we don't even have a lot of afternoon services anymore unless that's our main service. Bro, who's going to afternoon services now?
Right. If it's not the main
just
service.
keep it a bean. Exton Mall is closed. Neshaminy Mall is closed. Cheltenham Square Mall is not a mall anymore.
No, it's an outside plaza.
It's an outside plaza.
Yep.
Why are we still trying to look for afternoon services?
So I think
Sorry.
Here's what I think, because the obviously the nature of the question and the post, the nature of it is pointing towards how the landscape for how younger musicians developed is different.
Yeah.
That's what we're pointing at.
Yeah.
We're pointing at the landscape for how younger musicians were developed, how you and I were developed, how Pels was developed is much different today.
Wait a minute. Who's developing? Okay, Jay, you're going to like this. Who is developing the next quarterback playing street football?
Right.
I'm
Come
sorry.
back on camera.
Huh?
Come back on camera, bro.
I'm sorry. I was eating chocolate, y'all. I'm sorry. You know how we learned football? The goal is the telephone pole right before Stanton Avenue.
Yep.
And if you run past the end zone, you're going to get hit by a SEPTA bus.
Yep.
The zones that you don't have to cover is Mr. Bob's Cadillac is on the right side. So make sure you run the route to the left. Because if the football hit his car, somebody going to get shot.
Yeah.
That's how you learn how to play football.
True.
Right? You got tackled on concrete and stuff. So now, how do you learn to play basketball? We learned out of crates and stuff on the corner.
Yep.
On the wire, if you had a
crate.
driveway.
Right. And in the driveway that's sloped was the basketball court.
Yep.
And make sure you don't hit the window in the kitchen. But how do they do it now? They go to basketball camps.
So you're going where I'm going.
Go ahead.
Because here's my monkey wrench, Jay. Then I'm coming back your way.
Yeah, sure.
Because again, we touched on our developmental environment and what was common when we came up. What if the environments that we came up was never how it was supposed to be?
Boom. 100%.
Wow.
100%.
Wow.
And obviously that's no regret.
Yeah.
That's no regret or remorse to how we came up. But my question is, what if that was not how it was meant to be?
Hey, let me say this, because Jay, I know you probably got one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it's the same thing with, and some people can fight me on this. When I think about old school hooping, when I say it did work for my grandmama and them, 100%, I don't care what nobody say, and I've lived through the generation of, it ain't about all that hooping and hollering. I get where you coming from, but you cannot deny the fact, or I can't in my generation, that when grandpa preached and his eyes went to the white, and his teeth fell out his mouth, and he had the hand over here with the handkerchief, said, Pastor Graves, my dad, all of them.
Oh yeah,
It worked for that generation.
absolutely.
Cause it got them through. And to the question that the brother put up, them afternoon services was needed.
Yes.
Cause what was we going home for?
Right.
I mean, all we had to do go to bed and get up, go to work, and deal with the people at the job and stuff. And people had a state of poverty that they were dealing with. Coming out of hard times and racial stuff that we dealing with. Like, I get we dealing with racism and stuff today, but it's not the same as it was yesterday.
No.
The evilness is the same, but like, we sitting here like, oh, them racist people jumping on a PlayStation and widescreen TV, driving a Bentley or a Porsche or something like that. Back in the day, that was we on a crowded bus, we on the trolleys, we on the corners. Some people come to church because they had to eat. Because that was the best meal that they got.
Yep.
It has changed.
It has
changed.
Yeah.
And that he died, that had a place. It had a place, and that sing-songy thing helped me to learn scriptures.
Yep.
But then the woman came to the well. And that all that cadence helped me out. I felt it.
Yeah.
It did something for me, and I think that the scripture is something that my children need to hear, but they don't need to hear. But my kid don't need that.
Right.
You need to talk to him a different way. But
There we
for
go.
me, that thing worked for me. That's why when you bring it up, it works. So there's a area where it was necessary how it was done then. But this is now.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I'm gonna say this, and Jay, whoever y'all talk, y'all don't have to tell the truth, but I know I'm a victim of eating a hamburger or a hot dog that fell in the grass.
Oh yeah, I've done it.
Okay, I'm just gonna keep it a buck.
Yep.
It was the last batch of burgers, and went to throw it on your plate, and it slid off, and I kissed that sucker up to God. Okay, I'm not doing that now.
Nope.
I'm not.
Absolutely not.
But I did it. And I drank water out of the hose. I didn't go in the house and pull a bottle of water out the refrigerator. We was thirsty playing football. You went to the garden hose over there. They ain't had no dirt on it. And you turned it to the side and you drank out of it. Who's at water fountains now if it ain't in your gym? Stop it. Stop it. So why do we think that church has to be the way that we remember it, or else something's wrong?
I remember, man. Well, let me first say this. To add to what Pels is saying, it's to me, it's no different than having our youth today read the King James version of the Bible. They talk like that back then.
Wow.
So when our grandparents and our great grandparents were reading it, they understood it because it was also for that generation where they were able to understand it. But our generation may need the New Living Translation, and it's not anything different from the words except for the way it's being said.
Yeah. Yep.
So let me also add this to what Pels was saying. I remember back in the day, man, it was exciting to wake up on Sunday morning knowing you got an afternoon service and you going to one of your friends' churches.
Yes, sir.
My grandfather had to preach at Vernon Prelo's church.
Got you.
Good
And
point,
I knew
Jay.
Junior would be playing.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
I knew
sir.
that, my mom, my mom was the choir director, so I knew I had to play. So I was looking to hear, because I ain't seen Junior in a year. It was
Good
an
point,
anniversary
Jay, but
time.
we got social media now.
Yeah, so
Right.
it was good to hear him.
We got cell
play.
phones now.
Yeah.
Correct.
So I don't have to do a lot to see Jay.
Right.
I don't have to go through a lot. So Jay's point, back in that day when you had a landline and you got 3-4 sisters and brothers in the house and you got to stand in line like you in prison or something to get on the phone. Right? The day could go by, and if mom and grandmom had a long conversation, you cooked. So you wanted to be in church.
Yeah. And it was good to see him, you know, because you knew you was going to learn something.
Yep.
And then he was going to also learn something from you because he ain't heard you in a year or two.
Facts.
So, you know, so it was good to get that experience growing up. Now, let me just add, as my brother would say, a wrinkle
Come on, man.
into this. When it says, have our churches become so production centered, I would like to just add this. Maybe we can touch on this. Is it possible that when we talk about production centered, is it possible that today's musician is not motivated to play because the keyboard and the stems can play for them? Is that
good.
Also?
That's good.
That's
When they say, when he's asking, have our churches become so production? There's a lot in there, production
Yes. Yep.
centered, that we have alienated our youth from expiring. Now, if all you do is work on stems, because there are brothers that are amazing on stems that don't really play.
Yeah.
But they know Ableton. They know Logic like the back of their
They
hand.
know the software.
And that software, man, they'll run ragged over you. And they can make a whole hour worth of stems, program the mess out of that thing, and have your service running without a band. I think it was Kevin Stansel who made a post.
Yep.
Who said he went to a Chris Brown concert.
Correct.
And all he said the music was phenomenal, but there was no band. It was
No
all
live
stems.
musicians.
No live musicians.
Nope.
It was all stems. The entire 2-hour concert was nothing but stems. 1 or 2 cats probably made all those stems.
Yep.
So what does that say to? So I was just on with Damon Richardson, right? And we were talking about something that leans into this. What does that say? Because the leaders don't get a pass on this. And I'm not attacking leaders. I would stand to say, and y'all can, Darren, you can steer the truck back in the lane. But here's the thing. I don't believe that a lot of pastors are connected or tapped into. And I think a lot of our issues now are because they're detached other than results. So a leader will just say, like, the calls I get,
Detached other than results.
I need a musician. And it's like the one thing I don't really ask, for what? Right? I gotta know the answer is because you need music, but it's like, for what? And what kind of musician are you looking for?
Right.
Right? Not capable, but what kind?
Yeah.
Right? Because if it's just capable, you're giving straight into production, not growth.
Right.
Right. And to your point, Jay, it's like a house that's built like that, got it. Houses are built now and pastors start ministry where it started and it's moving production. Then there's very few that are really just about the people and the cultivation of the ministry. So it is troublesome now because you have people capable of doing the production centeredness, but the leader is totally tapped out of the production or the cultivation of the people.
Now, let me also add real quick, I'm going to let you have it.
Go ahead.
Not only do you got cats that can make stems, you can buy stems.
Yeah.
This is true.
Without even really playing.
So let's drop a nickel in the meter there.
Yeah.
Because I love that you brought that up, Jay. And we can't skip by that.
Yeah.
We can't skip by that. We can't skip by that. We probably got to double back around to that another episode.
Yeah.
But I will say this about what you just said and what Pels just said in terms of, you know, the pastor, the leaders of the house. The production elements are only valuable if that's what the customer wants.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the truth.
What value does stems with all of these instruments that are not live? What value does it have if that's not what the customer ultimately likes?
Wow.
What value does it have?
Mm-hmm.
Or let me ask it a different way. All right. What value does, or how much value does it have if the customer is looking for, and I think you're going to like this, Pels, the customer is just looking for a well-produced experience.
Wow.
Because a well-produced experience, there is nothing organic about it.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It has to be predetermined.
Yeah.
It has to be, and I'm going this way for maybe the pastor, the church leader that might be listening, and they're saying, well, what's wrong with stems used properly? What's wrong with the production? Nothing. Nothing. But there has to be also some natural elements.
Yeah. Yeah.
That mix in with some production elements that in essence gives you let's say a modern day DNA. A modern day DNA. Because like we talked about, Pels, the times is different. The people is different.
Yeah.
That's why, Pels, when you brought up who go on afternoon services, well, that's absolutely right. Because again, the people are different. You talked about, the how the preacher closed in your day and even in our day, and how that had a specific value in that time, but it doesn't necessarily have the same value today.
Right. Exactly.
Not that it doesn't have no value, it does not have the same value
most definitely
today. So now the customer, that the decision makers, now that you have to take some responsibility on why our churches seem so production centered, because the question, nor anyone on this podcast, we are not demonizing production elements in worship service. We're not demonizing them at all. But if the whole worship service is centered around all of the production, the lighting, the fog machines, the LED wall, the roaming cameras, the stems. If that's the center, that's what can be problematic.
Hey, wait.
Go ahead, man.
So you know what you guys just said that's packing a lot. So Jay, you brought up the stems, right? The need for stems is to mimic the church that has what the stems represent.
Yep.
The catch-22 is the church that I play at twice a month, if I'm not preaching, they actually could use the stem situation. The problem is it takes away from helping that pastor's son to grow. The other youth that come to church to grow, but then arguably somebody got to run the stems. And the electronic generation children that can figure it out, now they could now become the new replacement for the musician, kind of like a humanized AI in the room.
That's what I'm saying. Yep.
Then it teaches the church that now we don't need a musician. Then that causes another economic problem, because the people that are looking to play, it's like, well, you want 500 and I got 3 musicians for free. and they're inside of an Apple Mac. So I'm saving. And then when you tell the trustee that, they will double down on the investment because now where does that go? Now we're back to the pew. And like one of y'all just said, the pew's creating the problem too. Because now it does fall back on gospel centered. What do you want out of it? In the gospel, you do have that you love God and love your neighbor as yourself. There is a unity amongst the people. It is just good to be here, Lord. Right? That now satisfies the we don't have afternoon service no more. Where is it that it's just good to be here? And then while we're here, the authentic, right, pouring into out of ourselves unto the Lord and admonishing one another. Stems is not a person admonishing one another. Because there's no drummer looking at the guitar player like, yeah.
That part.
Right? So now you've done AI the church.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Nothing
And if
natural.
you AI the church on an element that matters, it's like Apple right now in the Apple Music, it has this dumb feature that the AI, shout out to my guy, I'm giving credit where it's due, one of the best DJs in the world, DJ Jazzy Jeff, and then you got all the DJs active and everybody else, right? They blend songs.
Yeah, they can blend them. Yeah, it's
So
crazy.
Apple Music now can blend, but it does a bad job at it because it's trying to mimic what a human can do, what a human can hear, and it's trying to do it by numbers.
Yeah.
It does not work. It sucks. It's messing up my playlist, so I took it off. And I'd rather give my playlist to a real DJ
Yeah.
and say, can you make these songs blend together?
Yep.
That's how the church got to look at this. Just because you can don't mean that you should.
Yep.
And if we are that desperate that we're going to let stems run the situation, shout out to Dub. Is it C-Dub?
Yep. C-Dub.
I love him. And I'm not hating on your pockets. Get your bread. But at the end of the day, the direction of the end all be all for you to get straight your money, it causes people to now run stems in their service. And we're missing a lot because we don't, the main thing we're relying on is not pouring into equally.
Right.
It's just giving us a feeling.
Right. And not only
Absolutely.
that, Pels, to probably add to it, you remember back in the day when you were able to play, and even though you were young, you were learning, when the Holy Spirit would come in
Yeah.
and then it would take over your fingers.
Mm-hmm.
That was the time where the Spirit would pour into you and you would receive more. Things that you didn't realize you could do, you're doing. But if you're watching the click,
Yep.
it takes, like Pel said, it takes that part away from you. I remember they would, in devotion service, you would play, the Spirit would take over, and they'd be like, oh man, that young man over there playing that organ, that piano, he over there framing that piano. Go ahead, son. And they would encourage you, go ahead, son, fram it. Go ahead, and you're not going to get that. That was a part of our growth. And we've learned so much, and that was our way of communicating and worshiping.
Yeah.
But as Pel said, with the stems, and like I said, I use stems myself, but I also realized the stem takes my eyes off of the Lord and puts them on the computer.
My goodness.
Because I have to be cognizant. Now, let's be honest. The stems, I have to be cognizant of where this click is.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not cognizant, it's going to go somewhere else. And I didn't hit a button.
Yeah.
Or it can start back from the beginning.
Yeah.
So even though I am worshiping to a point, I can't fully immerse myself as I would want to. And like I said, I have no issues with stems. Brother Jay I have no issues with stems. I'm talking about me.
Mm-hmm.
I love stems. I use stems all the time. However, it does prevent me from truly worshiping as I would want to, because my focus is on the production of what I'm doing, not spirit led, because the click track ain't gonna change. It ain't gonna go nowhere but what's set in the computer.
Start, stop.
Start, stop. That's it. So I'm not gonna be able to do what I really want to do until the song is over, and now we can really worship.
Yeah. And we'll have to also talk about that another time, Jay, in terms of the mechanics when you are using stems.
Yeah.
Because, like, for instance, me personally, when I do use stems, I don't use them to the point where I have to trigger different parts.
Yeah.
I don't. I will use them for like intros only, or if I use them for more than an intro, I'm using it up to a specific point in the song, because I already know that the group that's singing, they're sticking to a specific sequence. And that's just me.
Right.
But it goes to a lot of what you just said. So the most that I would have to do when I'm running stems is really just volume changes to that stem. I'll never have to actually stop it, because I already set it to fade out at a specific point.
Yeah, let me tell you,
So
man.
we have to talk about the mechanics.
Yeah,
of,
it's a lot, you know,
using stems, but keeping that balance that you're talking about, where so much of your attention is not on it, and you cannot shape the moments the way you would if you didn't have that much attention on.
And even when you do use it for, and you know those programs so well where you can modulate with it, and you can hit a button and you can vamp, have the vamp go over and over. You know how much attention you got to be paying to that thing?
Absolutely.
To make sure you hit the F button and not the G. I'm just being honest. So it's just you got some guys that can program the mess out of those things, man, and it's wonderful. Don't get it wrong. Like it is I always say organic musicians are a dying breed.
That part.
The practicing organic musicians are definitely a dying breed. I'm talking about the cats that can just flat out play.
Yep.
I mean, flat out play.
And the cats that can flat out hear and follow what they hear the lead musician doing. So if the lead musician, or if even like a guitar player, if he does a line, everybody hears it and can grab it.
Yeah. And let me add this real quick, pals. The reason why I say we're a dying breed is not because of our talent. It's because of our experience and knowledge. We see what a lot of younger cats and unexperienced
I'm on my way there.
Don't see.
I'm on my way there.
We know how to take a service from one place to the next.
Yep.
Because we have watched and we are experienced and cognizant enough of the spirit and the culture of the ministry.
Yep.
See, it's a different thing. You can have some of the best players in the world, but they'll still call on this young brother right here because he knows the culture of the ministry.
Yep. He knows the thermostat.
He knows the thermostat. Period. He may not play as well as some out there, but some out there, they come in here, they just for show.
Yeah.
Right.
They're playing the hell out of that organ. They're playing the hell out of that keyboard. But all we doing is looking at you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But you got the guy here that knows the service, that knows the way we move, that can follow what the Lord is doing at this particular time.
Yes, sir.
Right. Facts.
That's worth.
Yes, sir.
That's why I said dying breed, because it is difficult to find. When they say it's hard to find musicians, no, it's not. It's hard to find the musicians you would hire.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Let me shout out some watchers real quick. Mark Gray, 1 Corinthian Nicole, Julian Brissett, Josh Gilmore, Tracy McCurry Williams, Cheryl Spinner Vaughn, Dave Bell, Natalie Bullock. What else we have? Anthony Schuler, Day Johnson, and Francie Boulware. Thank you all for tuning in. Pels, the comment from Julian that talked about different culture churches. Yeah, that one. You popped that up real quick. Yeah, Julian.
This one?
Yeah. So Julian, we got a series coming on that. Some of which in your comment I agree with, some of which I disagree with just a tad bit. But we got a series coming on that, which may start next week. It may start the week after. So please be sure to stay tuned. You normally with us most times, but we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that culture that you're speaking of. Here's where I want to go before we leave. Before we leave for the night, here's where I want to go. I want to go back to what I talked about in terms of what if the way that we came up was not the way it was meant to be. Mm-hmm. And why do I bring that up? Well, let's go Bible. If we go back and do some studying on Levitical order, we'll notice something in the scriptures, particularly when you look at, I think a lot of the order is between like 1 Chronicles 23 and chapter 23 and chapter 26. Mm-hmm. Right? One thing you'll notice is mentorship. Mm. Because when you see skilled and trained, which is something that you've mentioned before, Jay, we see skilled and trained. There is no way skill and training happens, someone getting skilled and getting trained, without some form of mentorship.
That's true.
So Levites who were young, who were under the age of 20 years old, they were trained by experienced members of their own clans and by the priests, learning the specific practical duties of their assigned roles.
Hey.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
So, all right, I'm a mesh. I know you're going to expound on this later. I'm a mesh with. I kind of hear what Julian is saying, and what you're saying, and what you just brought up there. If we're honest, right, we know damn well that our checks as musicians ain't coming from the musicians in the church.
Nope. No, sir.
We know daggone well our checks are not coming from people that just want to hear a band play for 2 hours. It's coming from people that give and tithe, that probably don't even listen to half of the songs on the radio that the praise team is singing. They come from business owners that don't even have time to sit in church as long as I was in worship all day long and falling out the altar. Yeah. They have to go home and take care of business. And they have businesses, jobs and stuff. And some people are coming off of work and stuff. They just need a prayer and a word. That's where most of the money coming from. And the rest of the money's going out the door because of the entertainment-ish element that's needed to satisfy or that keeps up the par for the experience. Right? It gets even more tricky. I'm gonna slide in what Mark Gray put in here. I like it too. Yeah. Mark put a good point up here. it immediately made me think about Jersey and Drape.
Yeah.
I'm realizing ain't a lot of people trying to be percussion players.
Yeah. This is true.
Right.
But see, back in the day, John Alton on the congos and a few others, they was percussion players, and they didn't care about being the drummer. They was boom, think, You don't see a lot of people jumping for that now.
Nope.
You got 8 drummers standing around, and I don't see not one damn percussion set up. Sorry. You know where it's at? It's a click track. We had human click tracks back in our day. We had give me a little more of that cowbell.
Yep.
Right? We had them percussionists back in the day. This stuff is real crazy. And now what we're seeing is the production aspect is where churches have gone to, and those that aren't there are trying to get to that. Yeah. And they're always going to be behind the 8 ball. So now the other thing that Julian brings up, I get what Darian's saying. I get what Julian's saying. Here's my little input on there. That is true. We've put such a demand on, here's a way out. Here's something that allows me to get money for little effort. And then I can learn the game on how to make double down. And I can be a mediocre musician and come up just as good as the great musician.
Yeah.
I don't care that I don't play half as good as a Troy Chambers. I don't need to. And I can actually make more money than Troy Chambers. I can make more money than Jay. I can make more money than Darian and do less work. Because the need or the desire is so big on the outcome that people are so desperate that we have now downgraded what we grew up on as really giving a darn about the ministry. And the need of the culture and stuff like that. It has changed.
It has changed.
I'm sorry, it has changed. And I ain't knocking nobody's hustle, but we seen it. A couple of points that y'all seen it. So like he said, churches out my way, they don't have people like, yo, if the drummer leave, let me know. Because I'm going to get that bag. Because you technically don't want to know what the bag is for that drummer. You know what that bag is? He's putting it in the bag. He don't even get a check from that big church on 422. You know why? Because he got a painting business. And he makes so much money with that, it's an honor for him to sit there and play on Sundays. Woo!
Yep.
The engineer makes so much money that they don't need it from the church. We can give it to you. I'm not saying don't take no money. I'm saying expand your brain and your anointing to the level, Lord, allow me to be a blessing to the ministry. So that the check I don't need it to live on. I need to be alive so that others can live.
Yeah, the church check don't have to be the destination.
It don't have to be. I'm not saying don't get it, because if our ministry needs the services that Decibel Group provides, because the demand is for that, Decibel Group gets a check. But in that, I'm getting more out of Darian because his business is doing so well.
That part.
I'm getting more out of Jay because his company is doing so well. So yes, we have a baseline that we give all the musicians. And Jay is like, you know what? I'll take that salary right there. Because we know, and Jay know, technically, if we want to put on the scale, he's worth more than that. But you know why he's not getting more than that? Because he don't need more than that.
Right.
Because he's so much overflow over there. And last thing is this. How many of our Black Baptist churches, if you go back to the books, how much work did they get out of the people that grew up in the church that they didn't have to pay for? So when we paying people now that don't even know how to play, can't you see the clouds gathering? They don't know who James
is.
Cleveland, Milton Brunson. They don't know what none of that is. They can't play your Wilmington Chester song. Me, Zach, all these people, we done play all of them songs. And musicians now, they know 1, 3, 5, 2.
Yep.
And they getting $1,000. But we came up in the church where we played 3 services for $20,
Yep.
for $50, for $100 a month. Right? We know that ship done sailed, but understand this. We should at least aspire to the day that we can put more in than we take out.
Yeah.
And then we'll see a difference. And the reality of it is there are a lot of thriving churches out here where the band, it's an honor for them to be in there.
Yeah.
Because they play for a wedding band.
Yep.
And they eating real good off of it. So Sunday is like a break, and it's a serving with one another, and they're giving. And the check that they get, they buying somebody something.
And let me add to that, Pels. It's a serving and it's a training.
I like it. Take it. You're right.
It's now
It is a training.
it's their opportunity to train the next person.
Yep. Yep.
To do the mentoring.
Bro, it's what's the coach name for Pittsburgh?
Tomlin.
It's Tomlin volunteering for this kid's high school. You got Tomlin coaching. That school ain't paying him.
Yeah.
He's an
That
NFL coach.
That school can't pay him.
They can't even pay him.
Not on the level that he does coach. They can't pay him on the professional level.
I like it. I like it because you know what? Let me say this, Jay, and you take this. You know what I can see? His Pels are getting a little prophetic. If I have a ministry, right, and I'm like, yo, Jay, I need you to come in and help. You know, my young boy playing, but he don't know what he's doing. And Jay says, you know what, Pels, if I got time, you know, I'll come through if I got time. I'll, you know, come in there a couple of Sundays. Maybe the second and fourth Sunday I'll come through there. Jay comes in. Kid don't know what he's doing. Jay jumps on the organ. Just watch me.
Yep.
Let's say Jay does that for a season. Me and Tina, we thank you, Jay. You know, give him a couple of dollars. He's like, oh, Pels, you ain't have to do it, but still takes the check, of course. I would too. But, you know, it's like, oh, no, Pels. And I just gave him some gas money. Go take your wife out to eat. And Jay goes, thank you. You know what Jay's going to be more happy about? That he's poured into that young man.
That's
That part.
exactly right.
He's trained him. And that young man's going to pass it on. And Jay's sitting there like, you can't even pay me for what I gave that kid. It's not even about the money. That right there, God's going to reward me.
Yep.
It's Colossians 3. God's going to reward me for what I poured out that doesn't have a actual financial stated value on it.
Yes, sir.
And I know that God's going to reward me, and I'm blessed for blessing somebody else.
That's right.
Now, if you want to go further, I'll be more than happy to do a workshop, and a man is worthy of his hire. Like, it's not that hard.
Yep.
It is really not that hard.
It's not that hard. But now let's end on this because something else in the original topic, Pels, something else I want to shed some light on.
On a statement? Or
Yeah, on the statement we've been talking about.
Okay, this one.
Yes.
Got it.
Something else I want to shed some light on. So after the question, back in the day, we couldn't wait till church was over in between services to play on the instruments. We got to talk about that. More so the play on the instruments.
Right.
Because the other argument nowadays is that those who are young and are not skilled are not able to play on the church's instruments. And for the most part, for good reason.
Right.
But where are the churches that invest in practice instruments? Or not even the churches. Where are the people in the church?
Well, here's the rough thing. It's okay, everybody can have a keyboard at home. But to your point, everybody don't have a Hammond at home.
Yep.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So it's a little different.
So it's a Hammond issue because you don't have that foot pedal.
Yeah.
You don't have that second tier, that left hand. But to just learn chords, we don't need to blame the church because you can do that at home,
Absolutely.
right? But the organ you can't.
Correct.
I feel you on that.
Correct.
We back to square one on that.
So where's the community that's investing in the practice instruments? Because again, it's fair to say, you know, we can't have those who don't know how to play on the instruments banging on the instruments in the main sanctuary.
Right.
That's fair.
Yep.
You know, it costs extra in maintenance and things of that nature. That is a fair statement. But again, okay, where is the community in the church
Right.
that is investing in practice instruments? Or what happened to the previous keyboard when you brought a new one?
Right. Where did it go?
We can't say every time that, you know, we only bought a new keyboard because the other one was broke beyond repair. That can't be the case all the time. That can't be the case with every guitar, every drum set.
Wow.
And even with drums, there really is no such thing with drums that broke beyond repair.
Right, really, for real.
Change the skin.
Change them skins and keep it moving.
Yeah, it really isn't. It sometimes may take a little ingenuity, but
Buy a new foot pedal.
again, we're talking about practice instruments where some instruction can take place, some training
That's right.
can take place, some mentoring can take place, in addition to what we talked about in terms of, we go back a while when I talked about our young people being in proximity. Remember when we talked about that?
Oh, yeah.
Our young people being in proximity with those who are, you know, in position playing drums, playing guitars, playing the organ. All right. Those of our young children that are curious, do we position them near the instrument and the person playing during the service? Pels, you got something?
Okay, because all right, I know y'all got to go. Here's the thing, and this how God be help me out. So now I would argue this. I find it difficult to culture in the, as you said, Darren, the word was, where's that community of people, right? No one shows value to a choir in church anymore. It's what Kenyon just did at his church. Oh, we're going to do a throwback. It's what Tamika does. It's what, you know,
Joins does.
Willie Phillips does. It's a niche thing. It's not a normal thing. It's always outside of the church. Then with musicians are watching. I ain't gonna name cats because I don't want nobody to get offended, but I can name this person because they're not gonna get offended. They'll know. I can use them as an example. Take Aaron Draper, for example, right? You see Aaron Draper, you see him on TV.
Yeah.
You don't think of a home. This has nothing to do with his faith. I'm just saying, you don't think of a home church to be next to Aaron, guaranteed. You see him and he inspires you. You're looking to go where he goes.
Yeah.
You're looking to go where Adam Blackstone goes. You're the commonality of Adam Blackstone is not at a church location. I ain't saying don't go to church. I'm just saying you can find Troy Chambers in church anywhere doing his greatest thing. You don't look to find the R&B artist and find Troy Chambers. You look at church service, and if a Kim Burrell comes in town, you look on the organ because you may find Troy Chambers. Jamar Jones, you won't find him preaching, or you may find him with Jill Scott somewhere or Patti LaBelle. You don't go down 12th Street to find Jeff Bradshaw.
Mhm.
You go to City Winery and you may find Jeff Bradshaw
That's true.
with his mama at his mama's church. Right? So why am I sitting around cultivating, or why am I thinking that I'm going to go down 12th Street right below Gerard and learn trombone from Jeff Bradshaw?
Mm.
Uh-oh.
Interesting question.
The goal line is I'm trying to get out there where Jeff is. And Jeff's not known to be in there. He's from there. But he's not known to be in there.
Right.
Yeah.
And what I learned was, in my generation, there was the Keith Pelzer that people wanted to learn from. But once I got on that Will Smith record, we want to follow the Keith that go to the studio. And I had to fight with, this is where it starts at. Yeah, you're right. But yo, tell me about the studio. So here's a word to most of us church musicians. When we done been out on the road, we come back home and we are so excited that we were on Jimmy Fallon. We were on the road. We was on TV. We played for this artist or that artist. We was on the Super Bowl and stuff. That's great. And I'm happy for you. But we also want to question, where's our cultivation accountability? Because the youth are not inspired and following Spanky to his sister's church. They're trying to be like Spank, to be behind Lauryn Hill, to be on the Kirk Franklin album.
Yeah.
They're not sitting up there following Trey to Dr. Sandra Williams' church. We want to follow the Trey that's on the road.
Yeah.
With Meat Mills. Y'all see where I'm going?
Yeah. I see
ain't that kind of rough?
Yep.
It's kind of rough because there's a lot. Shout out to the musicians that just never been out there on the road nowhere, but you are awesome. Do that, and if you get the opportunity, by all means, get your bread, get the exposure. But let us all start to think about, how do we center people back in the house?
Yeah.
Because many of them are watching us and they're happy for us because we got out the house. So how do we get the cultivation in the house?
That's a good one.
And listen, we got to revisit this next week. But
Yeah,
Jay, you
for
got
sure.
any final thoughts, man?
Yeah, man. I remember, man, like some of my greatest times, man, when I used to play the drums, when I ain't had no sticks, I would tear off the back of them fans, the funeral fans.
Oh, yeah.
And fold the
funeral
staples
home
in.
fans.
Yeah,
Fold the staples in. Yeah.
Man, they use them little wooden sticks
Oh, yeah.
and go to town, man. You know, we was hungry. You know,
We
you
were
find
hungry.
that too more. But I'm done, man.
That's,
Get out of here.
man, that hungry piece, that's a whole nother piece. But yeah, we're gonna revisit this because there's definitely more to dive into. But I think the key thing that we were, in a couple different ways that we were knocking at, the key is that, again, the landscape of how younger musicians are developing church looks different.
Man.
So next week we got to talk about, well, what does it look like now? Because many of us, we can tell you how it looked in our day.
Yeah.
But again, I believe the nature of the post is saying that it looks so much different, to the point where one would think it's non-existent. One would think that there is no real avenue of which the young musicians or aspiring musicians can be developed into, handling the worship service, handling being able to shift the important moments of the service.
Yeah.
So next week, we definitely want to talk about, okay, well, what does the training ground look like today? Or what should it look like?
Yep.
All right. Thank you all for joining us
Thank y'all.
again.
Appreciate
Some
you.
last minute people that came in to watch us. Pinky Speaks, James Hicks.
James Hicks, that's my guy.
Thank you all for tuning in. Until next time, we will be back next week on the 9th. Same time, same bat channel. I'm D. Brister.
J. Mars.
Take us out, pals.